मंदो गुरुपदगंज कृपा सिंधु नररूप हरि महामोहतम पुंज जासु वचन रविकर निकरा बंदो सीताराम जी पदा सकल सुमंगल मूल सुनाम वरनौ कछुका जो मो पर अनुकूल श्री राम नाम को रसिक जे तिन पद रज मम शीश शिव गणपति हनुमान शुका सनकादिक हीश विघ्नारद प्रहलाद ध्रुव व्यास घटज कविराय लोमश गरुड़ भुषुंड भृगु याज्ञवल्क्य भरद्वाज श्रीवाणी गिरिजादित्य जीव चराचर छोड़ राम नाम जिमि सरस प्रिय तासु चरण सिर मोर श्री राम नाम को कही सकै जानि सकै को गाओ यथा सिंधु खग चोच भरी कृपित थाह नहीं पाओ सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. So we have discussed about Tithis in some detail in the past sessions. Today we are going to discuss about Karana. Karana is a very important Panchanga element which has a lot of usage when it comes to Muhurta for ascertaining the quality of time. Karan essentially is one half of a Tithi. So if the Tithi is say 12 degree, Karan means 6 degrees. And the typical length of a Tithi, if we take the average of 24 minutes or 30 ghati, then the length of a Tithi will be 12 hours or 60 ghatika. Sorry. If the Tithi is 24 hours and 60 ghatika, then the length of a Karan will be 12 hours or 30 ghatika. So there are essentially a group of Karan, 7 Karans, which rotate in a sequence 8 times. And then there are a group of 4 Karan. So 7 into 8 is 56, very simple. And the 4 Karan, they occur around Purnima. The others, they repeat. They continue repeating. Let us first see the sequence and then we'll get into the details of the mechanics of Karan. So if you see the sequence here, then you see Bava, Balava, Kaulava, Taitila, Gara, Vanija, Vişti. This repeats once, repeats twice, repeats thrice, repeats 4 times, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. The same order that is Bava, Balava, Kaulava, Taitila, Gara, Vanija and Vişti. Okay, this same order that you see here, it is repeated for 8 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Purnima, once Chaturdasi second half starts, then we have Śakuni, followed by Amavasya first half, Chatuşpada, Amavasya second half, Naga. I'm sorry, earlier I said it is around Purnima, it is actually. There is a mistake here. 1 second. There is a mistake here. Okay. We'll correct the mistake. So I'll tell you what the mistake here is in this table. What you see as Shukla Paksha, it should have been Krishna Paksha. And then this same order follows. Forget this for the time being. We'll show it in a slide. Exactly what is the order that follows. So if we have to talk about Karana, let us start to understand Karana. What do we mean by Karana? Karana is specially, like I said, essentially 6 degrees. So when I say 6 degrees, it means that a Tithi is 12 degrees, the difference of 6 degrees between Surya and Chandra, that constitutes a Karana, half a Tithi. Okay. So let us understand the mathematics of it. Since it is the Tithi mathematics we already learned that day, so Karana mathematics will be simply half of the Tithi. So what is the Karana mathematics? So one of the 60 auspicious or inauspicious half the divisions of the Tithi. So 7 Karans, they repeat 8 times, and then we have 4 Karan. All of them put together 60. Exactly 6 degree of the sun-moon angular separation. For practical execution, they are almost, they have a, for example, if there is Vishti or what we call as Bhadra Karana, we just don't do any auspicious activity during that time. So it has a very important role when it comes to exclusion of the time that will not go ahead with under any situation. And every tithi, it lasts approximately for 12 hours. So, which is approximately half a tithi. And classical texts re-emphasize again and again that if the Karana that is responsible for bringing concrete realizations to efforts. So Karana has been given a lot of importance by all the Muhurta when it comes to actuation of what you want to do, and that is why you start something on a particular Muhurta. Next, what is it? So nothing has changed. In our formula, earlier we had for Tithi, moon longitude minus sun's longitude mod 360 by 12 degree plus 1 floor function. Here, instead of 12 degree, we have 6 degree. That is all it does. Mod 360 means that if it is less than 360, we add 360. And whatever the floor function comes in, we add 1 to it to get the Karana. So let us see an example. There are 7 movable Karana or Chara Karana. Bava, Balava, Kaulava, Taitila, Gara, Vanija, Vişti. And 4 fixed Karana, which is Śakuni, Chatuşpada, and Naga, and Kimstughnā. So Vişti also here is what we call as movable Charan. And the cycle is Bava, Balava, Kaulava, Taitila, Gara, Vanija, Vişti. This is the cycle. It repeats 8 times. Then comes Śakuni, Chatuşpada, Naga, and Kimstughnā. Further detail, if you want to further do it, then Karana, raw Karana is basically moon longitude minus sun longitude mod 360. Karana index is divided by 6 degree plus 1. So I've put in an example here. If moon is 155.16 degree, sun is 208 degree. So the raw difference basically becomes 155 degree minus 208 degree, which is minus 53.72 degree. Since it is minus 53.72 degree, we have to adjust the modulo 360. So we have to add 360 degree to it. Once we add 360 degree, it comes 306.24 degree. We divide it further by 6 degrees. That is the rule that we are taking. It is 51.04. So floor plus 1 is simply 52. So it is the 52nd Karana. So 1 to 56 is repeating. 1 to 56, starting from Shukla Paksh Pratipada. So that was correct. That was not incorrect. Is repeating. So 1 to 56 will have Bava Balav this way. So Karana is 1 to 56 is repeating cycles of 7 movable Karana and 4 fixed Karana. 52 therefore begins to the movable cycle group, right? 52, if we subtract 52 minus 7 mod 7, why we are subtracting 1? Because we have to get in a group of 7. Okay, therefore what we do, 52 minus 1 mod 7 plus 1. 52 minus 1 is essentially 51 divided by 7. It is 49. Okay, so remainder is 2. We add the remainder 2 plus 1, 3. That is the Kaulava. Bava, Balava, Kaulava. So the Karana that will actually come is Kaulava Karana. This is a small comparison between Tithi, Yoga, and Karana. Tithi, what we realized was Tithi was moon minus sun. And the divisor there was 12 degree per month, 30 Tithis, 24 hours duration. Essentially, from the nakshatra from the Muhurta point of view, we say that this is almost like divine support, God's grace. That we see from Tithi. Yoga is, we have not covered that, we'll be covering tomorrow. It is the combined longitude of sun and moon, which the divisor here will become 13 degree 20 minutes. Therefore, 27 per month variable and combined energy, that is divine support plus material execution. Karana, on the other hand, is essentially about material execution, whether the time is supportive for material execution or not. So essentially, when Tithi and Karana, both of them are good, it means that it is smooth execution. There is no problem. If good Tithi, poor Karana, it means that things are overall favorable, but there will be some material obstacles. Something or the other will come in the way of you fulfilling your desire. And good Karana plus mediocre Tithi, it will mean that smooth execution with less spiritual support. So this is how we typically use. And when you use yoga also, then the output becomes even more certain. Now, why it matters for Karana? One is that it changes every 12 hours. So, since it changes every 12 hours, it is more sensitive than your Tithi. It is more sensitive than Yoga. It is more sensitive than your Nakshatra. And it is even more sensitive than the Vara, because Vara also changes every 24 hours. Right? So, of all the Panchanga of Panchanga, what is the most sensitive of all the five? It is Karana. And therefore, it essentially tells us different undertakings, may that be business, may that be going out for a new venture, going for a treatment, going for construction of a new home. Everything has to be seen from the point of view of Karana also. And Muhur Chintamani is very clear that if Karana is unfavorable, then all kinds of obstacles they multiply disproportionately. So you'll have a lot of badha in the work that you are doing if the Karana is unfavorable. These are the movable, the Chara Karana, and the qualities. So the Bava Karana, that has the quality of spirituality. It is the quality of new beginnings, anything new, anything pure, anything that doesn't involve any cruel act that can be done during Bava Karana. Balava is youthful work. So, for example, games, for example, even marriages at times, religious, scholarly pursuits, all of these are Balava. Kaulava is family partnerships, lasting bonds that last partnerships. Taitila is government authority, stable positions, anything to do with government authority, any work that you are going to do, which will be there for say last next 30, 40, 100 years that you want. Uh, Gara, agriculture, construction, anything that requires a lot of patience. Vanija is very important in Gujarat and many other trading communities. New businesses, deals, transactions, they are specifically done during Vanija Karana. Vishti is essentially transformative, destructive, context dependent. It is destructive mostly in nature, and it is prohibited. Of all the seven Charakarana, Vishti Karana is something which is prohibited for all auspicious undertakings. You just can't do it then.
Sir, quick question can I ask on this slide? On this is universally benefic or malefic, or is it functionally benefic or malefic depending upon the kundli?
No, so we do the first round of seeding out by looking at the Nitya doshas. By looking at Chandravala, Tarabalam, you all do that. Only after having done all of that, then you go into Karan. Karan is an eliminating criteria, which comes after we have decided for Chandravalam, we have decided for Taravalam. These two main things. We have removed some Krakacha yoga and things like that. I've given a small flavor of how to of what is the sequence going ahead in today's presentation.
Sure, thank you.
So, Vishti is the same as Bhadra. Vishti is the technical Sanskrit name, and Bhadra is the popular name that we use. So, you must have heard, especially financial astrologers saying Bhadra Swarg mein, Bhadra Patal mein, and therefore markets will behave like this. So, in financial astrology, also, this is very widely used, and it occurs twice monthly, which is Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha. Uh, and determines so both Shukla Paksha and Krishna Paksha, since it is part of your Charakaraka. So, like all the other Chara, it also will repeat in the same sequence 8 times. So, and auspiciousness and inauspiciousness is based on which worlds you occupy. So, Swarg is safe, Patal is acceptable, Mrityu Loka is destructive. So, how do we understand that? Suppose it is Tithi. If the moon, it is Bhadra, and if the moon is in Mesha, Vrishava, Mithuna, or Vrishchika, then it is, we say that Bhadra is in Swargalok. If Chandra is in Karka, Simha, Kumbha, or Meena, then we say that, and Bhadra is in existence, then we say it is Mrityulok. And if Chandra is in Kanya, Tula, Dhanu, or Makar, and Bhadra is in existence, then we say that Bhadra is in Patala Loka. Okay? So So if Bhadra is in Swargaloka, this is harmless, relatively harmless. So if I don't have any other choice, मुझे उस दिन कुछ करना ही है, so I don't have to worry too much if Bhadra is in Swargaloka. If it is in Mrityaloka, all auspicious work must be avoided. You just cannot risk having Bhadra there. And if it is in Patal Loka, it is acceptable for general activities, not various. So there कुछ general छोटी मोटी काम करने हैं, कुछ नया करना है, but it is not really auspicious. It is not a marriage or starting of a new home or starting of a new business. Then it can be done. So the सिद्धांत in मुहूर्त चिंतामणि is स्वर्गे भद्रा शुभम कुर्यात् पाताले च धनागमम मृत्युलोकम यदा भद्रा सर्वकार्य विनाशनम. Sorry, there is a typo here. It should be vinashanam. So essentially what it means that when moon is in Cancer, Leo, Aquarius or Pisces and Bhadra is operating as per the Tithi, it destroys all the work because then Bhadra is in Mrityuloka. Additionally, Bhadra is also said to have, during its existence, 4 anatomical divisions: Mukha, Kantha, Hridaya and Puchha. Now we are using Drika Ganit, but for Bhadra, for some reasons, the total ghatis that comes is 22 and not 30 ghatis, because half a tithi should be 30 ghatis. But 22 ghatis have been given in the classical sources, so we extrapolate. We extrapolate 22 ghatis. So what is the duration of Mukha? The first 2 hours approximately of Bhadra. What is the duration of Kantha? The first 42 for the next 48 minutes of the existence of Bhadra. What is the duration of Hridaya? Hridaya is 4 hours 24 minutes. That is where Bhadra is in Hridaya. And Puchha 1 hour 36 minutes. So even if you get Bhadra in Swargalok, okay, ideally you should do your work only during the Puchha Bhaga. Because even if it is in Swargaloka, because if Bhadra is in threat heart, then at least one should not go for medical treatment. Because what has been written about Bhadra in Hridaya is that it threatens life. Bhadra in Kantha, it destroys wealth. Bhadra in Mukha, it destroys the work that you are starting. So it creates a lot of badhas. So you have to look at 2 things. If you have to at least do during something during Bhadra, and if you have found Swargaloka, at least Bhadra should be in Puchha Bhaga. Swargaloka, Puchha Bhaga, or Patal Loka, Puchha Bhaga. Prithvi Loka must be avoided. And even with Swargaloka and Patal Loka, you should avoid Hridaya, Kantha and Mukha. Okay? So, things should be done only during the Puchha Bhaga. So, tail auspicious for unavoidable circumstances. Mouth in Krishna Paksha is an exception. So, we say that mouth is destroys work started, but if it is Bhadra during Krishna Paksha, then you can consider that. Day-night reversal, the time when Bhadra is there just around the Sandhya Vela, then a lot of malefic effects actually vanish. Afternoon mitigation, if Bhadra is during Abhijit Muhurta, then the negative effects diminish. So overall, it is said that even if you have to do, if you don't have an option, then Tuesdays, when things are supposed not to be done, Bhadra and even Vyatpata, Datipata, one of the bad yogas in Muhurta, they are auspicious if you have Abhijit Muhurta. We'll discuss about Abhijit Muhurta in detail when we discuss the Vara and when we discuss things like Yama and Ardhayama, etc. Prohibited activities in Mrityuloka. These things must not be done when Bhadra is in Mrityuloka. Marriage ceremonies, Griha Pravesh, starting new jobs, launching businesses, laying foundation for new properties. Mundana ceremonies, Namakaran, auspicious travels, property transactions, रक्षाबंधन. तो रक्षाबंधन में हमेशा निकाहनी आती है क्योंकि उस दिन भद्रा पड़ेगा ही, तो भद्रा को छोड़ के करना होता है रक्षाबंधन. इन ऑल सिचुएशंस we have to allow Bhadra to pass. We can't tie the Raksha during Bhadra. So one of the confusions that happens every year around the timing of Raksha Bandhana, it is because of this. Bhadra है क्या? Bhadra है तो दिक्कत है. Bhadra के टाइम पे you can't do Raksha Bandhana. New friendships, अब दोस्ती तो टाइम देके करते नहीं है, बट इन ओल्ड टेक्स्ट इट इज दैट न्यू फ्रेंडशिप्स, क्योंकि वहाँ पे इफ यू आर अ किंग एंड इफ यू हैव टू बिफ्रेंड अनदर किंग, आप बहुत सारा गहने वगैरह लेके, गिफ्ट वगैरह लेके जाओगे उसके पास दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाने के लिए. तो इन टाइम्स व्हेन दोस्ती का हाथ बढ़ाया जाता था, यू यूज्ड टू एक्चुअली प्लान न्यू फ्रेंडशिप्स. देन इट शुड नॉट बी डन ड्यूरिंग भद्रा इन मृत्युलोका. एनी ऑस्पिशियस रिचुअल शुड नॉट बी डन. कोई भी ढंग का जो वैदिक ब्राह्मण है वो भद्रा में कोई आपको मृत्युलोक भद्रा में ही विल नेवर डू एनी ऑस्पिशियस यज्ञ because that becomes problematic. So what are the favorable uses? कुछ चीजें के लिए अच्छा है. For surgery and procedures, if Bhadra is not in Mrityuloka and Bhadra is Puchha, it is good. For controlled fires, कुछ चीजें जलानी है, जंगल का एक हिस्सा जलाना है, आपको अपने खेत का एक हिस्सा जलाना है. हवन rituals for health, then Bhadra in Puchha, not in Mrityuloka, can be done. Hard physical labor, whatever requires, उसमें पूरा Bhadra चलता है. Warfare and combat, attacking enemies, it is good for attacking enemies. तो पुराने टाइम में मुहूर्त इसका भी निकालता था कि किसी को डाका डालने जाना है, one has to go and rob someone, उसमें भी मुहूर्त निकालता था. तो ऐसी चीज़ों के लिए भद्रा अच्छा है. क्रूअल एक्टिविटीज, लीगल प्रोसिक्यूशन, किसी पे केस मुकदमा करना है, मृत्युलोक में ना हो, दुश्मन को परेशान करना है उसके लिए. इम्प्रिजनमेंट प्रोसीजर्स, तो राजा लोगों को कहते थे कि इफ यू हैव टू इम्प्रिजन समवन, इम्प्रिजन ड्यूरिंग भद्रा, तो उसको जेल तोड़ के भागने की मुश्किल होगा. इट विल बी डिफिकल्ट फॉर हिम टू एक्चुअली फ्ली फ्रॉम द जेल. वेपन्स ट्रेनिंग के लिए बहुत अच्छा है. Weapons training, martial arts training, for all of these things, Bhadra is good. So the fundamental nature is transformative and ending oriented. So for conclusions, etc., Bhadra provides ideal timing. जैसे दोस्ती तोड़नी है, दोस्ती नहीं करने के लिए Bhadra अच्छा है. Bhadra अच्छा नहीं है, वो नई दोस्ती, बस दोस्ती तोड़नी है तो Bhadra में तोड़ दो, टूटी रहेगी, it will not come back. तलाक लेना है Bhadra में ले लो, लिया रहेगा, वो नहीं आएगा फिर वापस. ठीक है. So next, now we'll talk about first the Chara Karana, and then the Sthira Karana in some detail. So Bava Karana, the symbolism of Bava Karana is lion. So lion is both for strength as well as purity. उसका नियम वगैरह तय होता है, उसका डिसिप्लिन तय होता है. And the ruling deity here is Vishnu. So energy is that of a child, pure, devotional, devoid of any sort of intrigue, devoid of any sort of chala, so to say, and a pure commitment to task. अब शेर को शिकार करना है तो he will go and hunt. That commitment is unwavering and it is suitable for things which are supposed to move, for traveling as well as fixed घर बनाना. ठीक है. For both of these things it is suited and it is optimal for growing new crops, transportation and movement of goods, foundation laying for permanent structures like house, offices, worshipping, temple creation, partnerships and alliances, new partner and alliances. The meaning of the word Bhava essentially is flowing air, wind or water. Suggests both motion as well as stability. Nadi wahi rehti hai. If you see a river, the river is always there. The Ganges has always been there. There is flow also, there is stability also. Because it is there in its place and it is flowing as well. So that is how the energy of Bava Karana has to be understood. Next is the Balava Karana. Balava Karana is that of a leopard. And so leopard ke sath, what are the things that we associate? It is power, it is grace, and the ruling deity is actually Brahmaji. What is the energy here? Youthful, focused on learning, spiritual refinement. तो इन चीज़ों के लिए what are the favorable activities? So यज्ञ and होमो, वैदिक स्टडी, रिलीजियस लर्निंग, इसको मॉडर्न टर्मिनोलॉजी में बोले तो लर्निंग मैनेजमेंट, लर्निंग ऑपरेशंस. इन चीज़ों के लिए दिस इज अ गुड टाइम. रीडिंग एपिक्स एंड पुराना, एनी स्टडीज, बेसिकली एनी स्टडी which is higher learning, it is good to start that during Balava Karana. And educational institutions, charitable institutions, foundations of NGOs, for that Balava is quite good. Shanti Karma, peace rituals. Shanti Karma means Graha Shanti or Badha Dosha Shanti, all of that. Then Balava Karana is very good. What are the characteristics that you see here? Religious refinement, spiritual power, scholarly excellence, like we discussed. And it is a learning oriented energy necessary for preserving sacred knowledge, necessary for preserving all kinds of important knowledge. उसके लिए अच्छा है. So even university education, starting something like that, higher education, this is a very good Karana. Kaulava Karana, here the symbol is pig, and it is uh, Mitra. So this is also something where you can do marriage. So it is actually, pig is actually boar, Varaha. Varaha is very very pure in Hindu mythology. भगवान विष्णु का वाराह अवतार भी हुआ था. The energy is family and social connection, conventional enduring bonds like marriage. And the origin is Kudav, which is essentially, Kudav means traditional family paths, जिसको कुल परंपरा, वंश परंपरा, ये जो कहते हैं ना, कुल धर्म, वंश धर्म, all of these things, वहां से आपका कौलव आता है, फ्रॉम कुदाव. एंड ऑल स्थिर कर्म, जिसमें आप चाहते हैं कि चीजें टूटे ना, all things where you don't want things to fall apart. For example, marriage ceremonies, agreements and contracts, business partnerships, enduring social relationships, or anything that you can imagine where you wish things to continue, not to break. So after Vishti, अगर आपको कर्ण ये कॉलम मिल जाता है, नक्षत्र वगैरह मिल जाते हैं, तो बहुत अच्छा टाइम होता है कॉलम कर्ण में विवाह करने का. तैतिल, तैतिल इज एक्चुअली डंकी. ठीक है. सो बर्डन, ये गधा, गधे का सिंबल आता है. सो इज अ लॉट ऑफ बर्डन, एंड उसके साथ रेस्पेक्ट भी आता है, बिकॉज इन मेनी कल्चर्स डंकी इज ऑल्सो यूज्ड एज फॉर प्रोटेक्टिंग द फार्मलैंड. दे आर वेरी इंटेलिजेंट एनिमल्स. थोड़ा सा इन पॉपुलर nomenclature, they have often been relegated to highly disrespected animals, but they are very intelligent animals. And the ruling deity here is Indra. So here is dormant strength and authority, serious, stable, dignified. It is an intelligent animal. It is stable. It doesn't run around too much. It is a thinking animal. The reason why people actually beat up donkeys is because it at times protests. It protests because there is critical thinking. Okay, so stability. Next is even tempered, provides stability for long term commitments. It is good for राज्य कार्य. राज्य कार्य को अगर आज के टाइम पे देखें तो एनीथिंग टू डू विद ऑफिस, एनी ऑफिशियल वर्क, starting of any official work, new projects, etc. This is quite good. Receiving positions and appointments, so it is very good for joining if you want to stay in a place for long. For those of you who can't stay in a company for more than 3 years like me, don't do it during Taitila Karana. Because if you do it during Taitila Karana, the chances of you staying for longer time increases significantly. Next is taking contracts, construction that requires official approvals of our government contractors. This is a very important Karana. Public works and ornamentation. So all kinds of public works. अगर आपको तालाब बनाना है, पहले बनाते थे, a lot of people used to make तालाब, प्याव, and things like that, even temple construction. Government doing some of the public work, starting something during Taitila Karana, and the project is likely to finish without much issues. So ideal for all those seeking government positions and public trust, which includes your corporators, your leaders, your municipal officers, even your IS, administrative officers, etc. Gara Karana. Here, Gara is for agriculture and construction essentially. The ruler is Vasudeva, Vasudeva Krishna. And the symbolism here is that of elephant. What is elephant? Patience, power, and methodical effort. It's a mature animal, right? Which doesn't mind discipline and persistent hard work. So agriculture or any field that requires a lot of manual effort. Starting a factory. Starting a factory जहाँ मशीन बहुत है, लोग बहुत काम करते हैं, उसके लिए बहुत अच्छा है. प्लाइंग फील्ड्स, एनिमल हस्बेंड्री, एनीथिंग एनिमल हस्बेंड्री के साथ आपको अगर ट्रांसपोर्टेशन फ्लीट लगानी है अपनी, suppose you are someone into transportation, you have to buy trucks. These are very big. Vastu Karma, construction and building. Business venture in the rural areas, dairy, fodder, breeding. All of these things, they are very good for, they are very well done during Gara Karana. So, patient, powerful labor, earth moving and long term agricultural cycles उन सब के लिए अच्छा होता है. So if you are an agriculturist, if you are a transporter, if you are someone who breeds animals, who has animal husbandry farms, if you are someone who is a contractor, general civil contractor, if you like to do businesses away from the city, if you are into the business of dairy, agriculture, pisciculture, horticulture, uh, if you are in the business of pulps, then for all new projects and works, Gara Karana is very good. Next come Vanija. Vanija, like I said, it is said that during Vanija, if you sell something or if you get into contracts which involve selling things, you profit significantly. So business communities in Gujarat and Rajasthan strictly observe Vanija timing for trading, for selling goods, for getting into new contracts. The symbolism is that of cow, and the ruling deity is Manibhadra, who is the chief of Yaksha. So the literal meaning of Vanija is trader or merchant. It comes from Varija. Varija is essentially trade, and the direct association is commercial activity. It is considered unparalleled for business. Business deals, negotiations, sales transactions, and commerce, trading ventures, opening account books, financial transactions, market operations, even trading. A lot of traders, they, especially in Gujarat, they always will take at least one trade, even a small trade during वाणिज्य करण, because they believe कि ये इस समय जो ट्रेड लिया जाएगा वो मुनाफा देखा जाएगा. Now we come to the four fixed current. So second half of the 14th winning day, कृष्ण चतुर्दशी का द्वितीय भाग. तिथि के दो हिस्से कर दिए ना हमने. फॉर करण वी हैव डिवाइडेड द तिथि इनटू टू. सेकंड हाफ ऑफ कृष्ण चतुर्दशी, चतुष्पद is first half of Amavasya, Naga is second half of Amavasya, first half of Shukla Paksh Pratipada is Kimstughnā. So that table I had given was actually correct. I had got confused between Pratipada and Purnima. That is absolutely correct. So इन सब का भी कुछ काम होता है. And the planetary ruler here is Garuda. Rudra not planetary, the deity. Forget the planetary ruler, Ketu, Rahu, Ketu. ये सब नया concepts है, इसको हमें use नहीं करना है. Deities are important. Śakuni is ruled by Garuda. Chatuşpada is ruled by Rudra. Naga is ruled by Serpent. And Kimstughnā is ruled by Kuber. So let's see what uses they have. So Śakuni, the meaning literally is bird taming and strategy. Okay, Chaturdashi, Dvitiya Bhag, Krishna Chaturdashi, Dvitiya Bhag. And it is generally considered inauspicious, but it is very good for starting medications. Krishna Chaturdashi, Śakuni Karana is good for surgery, is good for starting Panchakarma and other treatments. It is excellent, essentially. And it is also good for risky ventures and competitive activities. ठीक है, आप ऐसे बिजनेस में जा रहे हैं, बहुत कंपटीशन है. ट्रेनिंग एनिमल्स एंड मंत्र सिद्धि फॉर दोज हु आर योगीज हु डू मंत्र साधना, फॉर देम दिस इज अ हाईली ऑस्पिशियस करण. एंड इसका जो आपको देवता इज गरुड़. गरुड़ इज द वाहन of भगवान विष्णु and a great Vishnu Bhakta, a great Vaishnava. So intelligence, and it is also intuitive. Garuda is a very fast animal. सर्प उनका भोजन होता है ना, आकाश से सांप को देख के नीचे जाके खा लेते हैं. Very intelligent, gifted with intuition, calm, composed. So that is why medical treatments and mantra siddhi, these are the two most important things to be done during Śakuni Karana. Next is Chatuşpada and Naga. So Chatuşpad is basically, it means four-footed. गाय हो गए, भैंस हो गया, गधा हो गया, घोड़ा हो गया, सब फोर-फूटेड चतुष्पद में आते हैं. एंड द पोजीशन इज फर्स्ट हाफ ऑफ अमावस्या. यूजेस, व्हाट आर द यूजेस देयर? कैटल बिजनेस, वेटरिनरी वर्क एंड एंसेस्ट्रल वर्शिप. इस दिन बहुत अच्छा है पितरों को याद करना, पितरों को तर्पण आदि देना, तर्पण मार्जन ऑफ पितृ. इट इज वेरी गुड टू डू ड्यूरिंग चतुष्पद करण. and it is highly auspicious for spiritual. So despite dark moon timing, Amavasya is actually very good for mantra sadhana. Holi and Deepavali are essentially very, very good for all kinds of mantra sadhana, especially during Chatuşpada Karana. Naga Karana, it is called the serpent energy. Serpent, you understand, it is also a representative of Kundalini, higher growth. So it is said that the serpent is coiled in the Muladhara chakra. So that is like potential energy. That is like the entire life energy condensed into a highly potential form. So what it does underground, it is digging, not जमीन के अंदर होता है ना, digging, mining, metallurgy, petroleum, underground operations that are hidden from the normal world. So it has both things. Destructive work can be done as well as spiritual wisdom and mastery. So Amavasya overall, the entire day of Amavasya is very good for all kinds of spiritual sadhana, mantra sadhana, etc. Kimstughnā, the literal meaning of the word is what can I kill? Who can I kill? Okay, that is the meaning. मैं किसको मार सकता हूँ? किसको मारूं? And the other meaning is one who breaks his word. Okay, so the position is the first half of Shukla Pratipada. So on Shukla Pratipada, it creates what is called Vishwa Deva Yoga, best for any work. शुक्ल पक्ष प्रतिपदा, शुक्ल पक्ष प्रतिपदा में ही किंस्तुघ्ना आता है, एंड इट इज अ वेरी वेरी ऑस्पिशियस. हो किसको मारो से ऐसा समझ लीजिए कौन सा काम करना है बताओ. I'll kill any obstruction that comes in my way. So it is good for joyful activities, celebrations, new ventures, marriages, ceremonies, sacrificial and sacred rituals, charitable works, and donation, everything. And placement as cycle restart, essentially the restart of the Shukla Paksha. So anything that is fresh, fortunate energy, that is related to Kimstughnā. So the hierarchy, typically we see that for nakshatras, they are given 40 to 50% weight. Especially for marriages, it becomes paramount. Yoga is given 20 to 25% weight. Lagna is given 15 to 20%. That is in the traditional system. In the system that we will learn if we actually decide to do Muhurta also, Lagna attains the most important of the positions. Nakshatra is like a eliminating criteria. We eliminate all bad nakshatra. Similarly, we eliminate all bad karana. Karana is also a very important eliminating criteria. Finally, Tithi and Vara is under this framework. The critical is malefic karana absolutely can spoil even a perfect nakshatra. So you have to be very careful not to do something when the karana is not good. So we have already discussed for spiritual foundations, Bava, religious education and management education, any form of higher education, Balava, relationships, Kaulava, even for that material Kimstughnā, authority Taitila, land work Gara, commerce Vanija, medicine Śakuni, and ancestor worship is Chatuşpada. These are some of the very important Karana to remember. And on this only we can expand anything that we do in life. We can expand in one of the categories. Which category it falls? If we understand the basic energy of the Karana, we can understand it very well. Now, this is essentially how do we go about it? That is the question of Amanji. There's a very small, very sort of gross approximation I'm given. So first is you remove the severe doshas, like it should not be Vişti or Bhadra. It should not be Krakacha Yoga. Krakacha Yoga is basically Vara plus Tithi. It should not add to 13. It should not be eclipse. It should not be Rahu Kala. Then we select the nakshatra on the basis of Taravala. Taravala should be good. Select moon, Rashi based on Chandravala. Then we choose Tithi and Vara appropriate to activity time. Verify the Karana, whether the Karana is neutral or beneficial for the work that we are doing. Of course, we remove anything where the Karana is not beneficial for that work. Prefer specific types for specific activities. And finally, we construct the Lagna. That is the most important. And we check Dasha Sapta. Even in Lagna, we can check the timing. What is the dasha it will be getting? For example, if something is for 5 years, then we condense the Vimshottari dasha to 5 years. If we want something to do well for 30 years, or rather a house, and we want कि 50 साल तक तो घर को कुछ नहीं होना चाहिए, उसके बाद नया बनेगा ही रिपेयर होगा, तो for 50 years we condense the Vimshottari of 120 years into 50 years. If something has to happen within 1 year, then we make the Vimshottari Mutta Dasha for 1 year. And we look at that the primary periods of time, and this is very important, that activity. During that period of time, the dashas should be favorable. So the process is essentially a process of elimination. We eliminate everything that is negative, 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 negative. And finally, we find a time when the quality of time is likely to be most suitable for that particular work. After that, there are some Veda also that we see. Uh, there are some Shalaka chakras. There is the Saptanadi chakra. All of that are the advanced techniques of finding the right muhurta. Because muhurta is very important for anything. If you get the right muhurta, life can become much easier. Finally, if we look modern adherence, then with many things time change, a lot of muhurta practitioners don't even use karana, which is like a big problem. Orthodox practitioners will never do Vishti Karana for rituals. Wedding industry, universal prohibition of Vishti Karana across all Hindu communities. And major ceremonies like Upanayan, Graha Pravesh, they have to be completely avoided during inauspicious Karana. Business communities in Gujarat and Rajasthan, they know Vanija. Vanij चाहिए उनको for major things. And metropolitan secular पता ही नहीं हम लोग क्या हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है, who cares, as long as we are getting to see good Instagram reels for most of the day, we can do anything at any time, no problem. Medical emergencies, when there is an emergency, it overrides all astrological consideration, any kind of emergency. So that is called आपद धर्म. जब इमरजेंसी हो तो हमें नहीं देखना है. अब वार हो रहा है, किसी को शादी करनी है, मुहूर्त थोड़ी निकालेंगे. बगल में जहाँ कोई पुजारी मिला उसके साथ जाके शादी कर लेंगे. अब अकाल आ गया है, प्रॉब्लम हो गई है, रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, आपको शुरू करना है, कांट लुक फॉर परफेक्ट मुहूर्त. सो मुहूर्त इज अ लग्जरी. Muhurta is a luxury when you can afford to wait for something, when you can afford to plan for something, तब आप मुहूर्त करते हैं, वरना मुहूर्त का ध्यान नहीं रखते. I'll go back to this table just to clarify it once and for all. Pratipada first half is Kimstughnā, essentially like we mentioned from Krishna Paksh Chaturdashi, second half Śakuni starts, thus their Karana start. Krishna, then Amavasya first half is Chatuşpada, Amavasya second half is Naga. Thereafter, Pratipada first half is Kimstughnā. After that, this Bava Kaulava Taitila Gara Vanija Vişti 8 बार घूम जाता है. It rotates 8 times. First is between Pratipada second half and Chaturthi second half. Then Panchami first half to Ashtami first half. We are in Shukla Paksha. Then Ashtami second half to Ekadashi second half. द्वादशी फर्स्ट हाफ टू पूर्णिमा फर्स्ट हाफ, देन पूर्णिमा सेकंड हाफ. अभी देखिए पूर्णिमा फर्स्ट हाफ में विष्टि आता है ना, इसीलिए जो लोग सत्यनारायण पूजा कराते हैं पूर्णिमा में, दे शुड नॉट डू इट ड्यूरिंग विष्टि करण. एक बार देख लो, रक्षाबंधन हैपेंस ऑन पूर्णिमा, दैट इज व्हाई दिस विष्टि हैज टू बी ऑलवेज अवॉइडेड. देन फ्रॉम पूर्णिमा सेकंड हाफ अगेन भव ऑल द वे टू विष्टि. फ्रॉम चतुर्थी फर्स्ट हाफ कृष्ण पक्ष भव ऑल द वे टू विष्टि फॉर सप्तमी फर्स्ट हाफ. Then Saptami second half to Dashmi second half Bhava to Vishti. Then Krishna Paksha Ekadashi first half to Krishna Paksha Chaturdashi first half Vishti. And then thereafter Śakuni Chatuşpada and Naga. So 8 into 7 56 plus 4 Chara plus Thera Karaka. और इस तरह से हमारा पूरा काम, पूरा खेल खत्म हो जाता है किसका, तो करण का. So and once you understand Karana, thereafter, life becomes easy, especially when it comes to mood selection, especially when it comes to understanding the quality of time. It seems there are 10 comments. There are some questions. Let us see if there are questions. Namaskar, Ram Ram to everyone. And so some people relate current to careers. Can you? See, a lot of Nidhi a lot of modern developments have started coming by, where the Panchang elements have been used for Jataka. Traditionally, there is no such system. There are just one or two liners in texts like Dundiraja's Jataka Vir Varna, wherein you have these details given, but very small. Now people have expanded it. You can consider it as a modern invention. You don't have to look at it. Which career you will go, that is not dependent on the Karana, which was prevalent during that time. Deepak ji, dhanyawad. Thank you, धन्यवाद to everyone. Please do Tithi Karan example. Example दिया था Ishwarya ji. In the start, I had given one example, and Tithi example also last time I had given. Sir, you chose word Kundalini. Kundalini Karan से नहीं मिलता है because we were there during Naga Karan. So Naga Karan has an association with Kundalini. There's no other reason for using it. Yep. So tell me, any questions from the panel?
Sir, when it comes between a good nakshatra for a particular day and Karan, what should I choose? Like
Sorry?
Chaturdashi, Purnima. If nakshatra is my good nakshatra is falling on those bad currents, what should I choose?
You should try to avoid it if it is possible. At least Vishti, Prithvilok, at least Vishti, Prithvilok, and Mukhabhaga. हाँ जी, Ucha is Mukhabhaga, Savita ji. So these things you can do. Yes, I'll continue the series for sure, but I'll disband the Telegram group. That is a completely useless group. All the people are any which is coming from Twitter. वहाँ पे 1000 लोग हैं. उनमें किसी को interest नहीं है उस group में आ गए. So yes, this series will continue. The series will continue because I like doing this. Bav, have one question, sir. Does picking a very good mood for an occasion like marriage improve a person's marriage life? Yes, sir. Does improve. So especially when it is adrid prarabdha, so to say, or dridadrid prarabdha, then the remedies work. इसको ऐसा समझ लीजिए कि कुछ बीमारियां लाइलाज होती है, कुछ इलाज के योग्य होती है. There are some medicines, there are some maladies that can be treated, some maladies that cannot be treated. होता है ना, दवाई से ठीक होता है ना. पहले ट्यूबरक्लोसिस से मर जाते थे, दवाई से ठीक हो जाता है. तो कंसिडर इट लाइक अ प्रायश्चित. फाइंडिंग अ गुड मुहूर्त ऑल्सो एक्ट्स लाइक प्रायश्चित, जिससे कि आपके कुछ बुरे कर्म कट जाते हैं. तो मुहूर्त शास्त्र में आपको फ्री विल का सबसे ज्यादा अधिकार महर्षियों ने दिया है. दैट इज वेयर द बिगेस्ट फ्री विल इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी कम्स. So Maharishi Parashar and other Mahārshis, they actually said that even if there are some bad things that are likely to come, if you find a good Muhurta, that itself acts as a very powerful Kriyaman, and some part of the bad Prarabdha can be changed. And Kriyaman can cause new karma also, it is like a new karma. So that new karma can give you very, very good results. या वी कैन रिट्रोस्पेक्टिवली एनालाइज. आपको पता चलेगा आपने कोई काम शुरू किया, एकदम पिट गया. 100% आपका नक्षत्र उस समय खराब रहे, वो मुहूर्त खराब रहा होगा जब आपने शुरू किया होगा. कभी आप निकले और प्रॉब्लम ही प्रॉब्लम, गाड़ी टूट गई, एक्सीडेंट हो गया, ऑल दोस थिंग्स हैपन. यू विल 100% फाइंड दैट यू वेंट आउट ड्यूरिंग अ नक्षत्र. So it will be there on Nidhi ji, it will be there here on YouTube every day 8 o'clock Saturday and Sunday. और ट्विटर पे मैं लिंक डाल देता हूँ. ट्विटर पे तो मैं हूँ, वहाँ पे आप देख सकती हैं. बिकॉज आई एम लिटिल व्हेन आई देयर 1100 पीपल शोड इंटरेस्ट. इतने लोग, इतने 40 लोगों को तो मैं उस पर कर सकता था ना, गूगल मीट पे कर सकता था. सो ऑल द software arrangement and everything that was done was from the point of view that there are some people who are interested in doing that. तो वो है नहीं, तो उसको पाल के रखने में मतलब नहीं. Anyways, which are the other questions? Babav's question I have answered. Then Ashish ji का question I have answered. नहीं. As a beginner, you should not get to मुहूर्त यार. Wait कर लो अंकित. Will be there. Will discuss रुद्र कैसे आपको मुहूर्त निकालना क्यों शुरू करना है. रुक जाओ थोड़ा, सिखा दूंगा. You learn how to find out मुहूर्त. Just stay with me for this course. You'll learn it. तो हेल्थ चेकअप यू कैन गो फॉर शकुनी. हाँ जी, जा सकते हैं. Is the start and end of Karana irrespective of sun? Yes, it is irrespective of sunrise time. Even Tithi is irrespective of sunrise time. It is just the Tithi that is considered for the day is the one that was available at sunrise. मेरा विवाह विष्टि में हुआ था, तो आप समझ सकती है कि क्यों प्रॉब्लम हुई होगी. तो टेलीग्राम कैन एक्ट एज अ प्लेटफॉर्म. स्टडी मटेरियल अब डालने का कोई अर्थ नहीं है. वहाँ पे अगर लोग नहीं आ रहे तो क्या करो आप, प्रेजेंटेशन या स्लाइड्स कॉपी कर लेना आप यहाँ पे. इज विष्टि द ओनली, इट इज अ मेजर इनऑस्पिशियस के अलावा भी हमने एक दो बातें की हैं व्हिच आर अनऑस्पिशियस, लाइक यू कैन सी. Okay, so these were all the questions we have answered. The questions, if there are any further questions from panelists, we can take. Otherwise, we'll call it a night and see you again tomorrow when we discuss yoga. And if time permits, we'll also discuss Chandravalam to start with. For Chandravalam, we'll have to discuss a little bit of astrology. मेरा जन्म ही विष्टि, जन्म आपका किस कारण में होगा फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. मैंने वही कहा ना, प्रेडिक्टिव एस्ट्रोलॉजी के लिए ये नहीं है. तो सोनल जी रोने की बात नहीं है इसमें, आप अपना स्माइली चेंज कर सकती हैं. बहुत बड़े बड़े लोगों का जन्म विष्टिकरण में हुआ, सो यू डोंट हैव टू बी वरीड. और विष्टिकरण तो आएगा ही ना, बीच में एक महीने में कितनी बार, 8 बार आएगा. 8 बार मतलब 4 दिन हो गया पूरा मिला लो, तो 4 दिन में जितने लोग पैदा होंगे सबको प्रॉब्लम थोड़ी होगी. ऐसा नहीं होता है. ग्लैड यू चेंज योर स्माइली. ओके, और बताएं, एनी अदर क्वेश्चंस?
सर अभी बलव करण चल रहा है विच इज गुड फॉर एस्ट्रोलॉजी लर्निंग.
हाँ,
It is
ठीक है.
nature's conspiracy.
ठीक है,
Thank you,
चलिए
sir. Thank
आज का
धन्यवाद.
स्ट्रीम खत्म किया जाए. ओके, टेक केयर एवरीवन.
जी सर, धन्यवाद.
थैंक यू सर.
हाँ हाँ, भद्रा में भी हुआ तो कोई दिक्कत नहीं है.